Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at this really amazing journey spanning 140 years of luxury Mercedes cars.
Yeah, it's quite something.
We're going to travel from the very first automobile ever created, way back in 1886, all the way to these, well, advanced 2027 concepts that honestly feel like they're plucked straight from science fiction.
And our mission for this deep dive, really, is to trace how that luxury car experience has just dramatically evolved over all that time. We'll uncover some, surprising innovations and maybe think a bit about what this incredible progression means for our relationship with technology and, well, mobility itself.
Right.
Just think about it for a second. We're moving from a simple tricycle that people thought was dangerous and pointless, basically, to a car so intelligent. It's actually legal for you to kick back and watch a movie while it drives. The contrast is just huge.
Okay, let's unpack this incredible story. And it all begins, like so many car stories do, with Carl Benz, a German inventor totally obsessed with machines. And he had this truly revolutionary idea. What if a carriage could move without horses?
Right. And so in his tiny workshop, he sort of cobbled together what was basically a giant tricycle with a small engine attached.
Like a lawnmower engine, you said?
Pretty much, yeah. He called it the patent motor wagon. It had a tiny 0.75 horsepower and could maybe hit 16 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
But here's the thing. It was initially a complete flop. People were just so used to horses.
Right.
And this noisy, kind of pointless, and frankly dangerous-seeming alternative. It just didn't catch on at first.
But then something really pivotal happened, didn't it, with his wife?
Oh, yeah. In 1888, Carl's wife, Bertha Benz, she just took the car. Didn't tell him.
Bold move.
Totally. And undertook the first ever road trip. She drove a remarkable 106 kilometers in one go.
And she had to fix it herself, right, with like a hairpin.
Exactly. Fixing it with her hairpin and refueling from a pharmacy using what was essentially cleaning fluid.
Because there were no petrol stations, of course.
None at all. It really puts modern roadside assistance into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does.
Absolutely. It's just a testament to raw ingenuity, and determination.
And that trip changed everything.
Completely. That daring act changed everything. The newspapers went absolutely crazy about it.
The power of the press.
Suddenly, investors started lining up at Carl's door. So that single defiant road trip, starting from a production of just, 25 units, it effectively kickstarted the entire car industry. It just showed the power of demonstration, overcoming that public skepticism.
So from that pioneering tricycle and Bertha's amazing ride, the car world just took off.
It evolved rapidly.
Yeah, and just 4 decades later, we get the 1928 Mercedes Benz Nürburgring. The whole landscape had changed by then.
Totally transformed. The 1920s saw the first proper car boom, certainly in the U.S.
Right, post-World War I money and Ford's Model T making cars cheap and mass-produced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's still a big problem. The roads.
Still designed for horses.
Pretty much. Dusty, bumpy, not well maintained at all.
So the Nürburgring was built for that reality.
This is exactly what the Nürburgring was designed to address. Its whole focus was on comfort and protection from the elements.
Okay.
It offered remarkably smooth handling for the time, incredibly soft seats. They were described as a sofa with footstool.
A sofa in a car?
Yeah. And a roof and cabin that truly felt like a private, enclosed space. It even had pull-down blinds.
Wow.
And a light inside that looked like a 1920s chandelier. It was all about luxury as a refuge, like a private cocoon.
So definitely about passenger comfort. Was it specifically designed with a chauffeur in mind? What tells you that?
Oh, absolutely. You see it in features like the rolly window separating the driver from the passengers.
Ah, the classic divider.
Exactly. A clear sign of its chauffeured intent.
Yeah.
And while air conditioning was just, opening the windows.
The manual kind.
The manual kind. What really struck me was the fantastic tactility of its levers and switches. Real craftsmanship. A sort of tactile luxury even back then.
That attention to detail, even in what seems like a simpler car now, it really highlights that luxury focus, doesn't it?
It does. The Nürburgring was, a moderate success, sold around 3,800 units.
Better than 25, but not huge number.
Right. Still wasn't mainstream. But it really cemented Mercedes as a serious player in the luxury market.
Yeah.
It showed they were here to stay.
Okay, now let's jump ahead again. 1954, Mercedes brings out the Ponton, and it looks completely different.
Totally different.
The body's much more rounded, the fenders over the wheels are integrated, headlights don't stick out. A total redesign visually.
And these changes weren't just cosmetic. not at all. The drag coefficient, basically how much air resistance the car fights.
Right, aerodynamics?
Exactly. It plummeted from about zero point 0.8 on the Nürburgring down to 0.48.
That sounds like a massive improvement.
It was huge. It meant the car could go faster. It was much quieter because the air flowed better. And crucially, it used about 25% less fuel. Plus, this car was about half the weight of the Nürburgring.
Half the weight. How did that affect safety thinking?
Well, for the first half of the century, the thinking was just make cars heavy, like armor.
Okay.
But engineers started realizing if the car doesn't absorb the impact, all that energy goes straight to the passengers.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the metal here was thinner, and it really paved the way for the crumple zones we rely on today.
And materials changed too, right? More plastic.
Yes. This era saw lots of wooden parts swapped out for plastic. It was the miracle material after World War II, suddenly widely available.
I bet that made the car feel quite different inside compared to the older one.
You're right. It might have felt a little, maybe cheaper to some, compared to the Nürburgring's solid feel.
But production got faster.
Much faster.
Yep.
Proper production lines meant a car could be made in days, not weeks, and that efficiency was key.
And that greater accessibility, making it more affordable, that really made the difference, didn't it?
Absolutely. That affordability for the middle class, that made all the difference. The Ponton went on to sell an impressive 73,000 units.
Wow, 73,000. That's 20 times more than the Nürburgring.
Exactly. This was kind of the democratization of luxury through better production and smart engineering, making advanced stuff reachable for more people.
And now we arrive at a true icon, the very first S-Class in 1972. Mercedes had made luxury cars before, obviously, but this one was special.
Literally special.
Yeah, the S in S-Class stands for Sonder, German for special.
And this car was a real turning point. Up until then, Mercedes luxury often meant, a smooth, quiet ride in the back seat.
Right, being chauffeured.
Yeah. But the 72 S-Class redefined luxury. It became about mastering these paradoxes, maximum safety and maximum speed.
Interesting. So not just comfort, but performance and safety combined.
Exactly. It was a pivotal shift. Basic comfort was getting more common, so true luxury became about conquering limits, showing off tech prowess and control, really flaunting success in a new way.
Beyond that big idea, what about the smaller things, the practical touches?
Oh, they made tons of clever practical improvements. Like they put ribs on the lights so dirt wouldn't build up inside. And lights that weren't ribbed got their own tiny wipers.
Seriously, wipers for the lights?
Yep. And even a rain gutter for the windshield, channeling water away so it didn't streak down the side windows. Just thoughtful details.
But I hear the engine itself was quite a statement piece.
Oh, indeed. The first big statement was the engine. A powerful 6.9-liter, 8-cylinder beast.
6.9 liters.
It's huge. It could get you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a pretty remarkable 7.4 seconds.
That's fast for the time.
Very fast. Even today, that's the biggest engine Mercedes has ever put in a production car. Competitors like Rolls-Royce or Cadillac, they were much closer to 10 seconds.
So like Ferrari performance in a big luxury sedan.
Basically, yeah. Ferrari-level performance for its time.
And here's another massive feature. This was the first car ever with electronic anti-braking system, ABS, which is now just standard, mandatory everywhere. How did that change things for drivers back then?
ABS was a total revelation. If you slammed on the brakes hard, especially going fast,
Yep.
instead of the wheels just locking up and the car skidding uncontrollably.
Which is terrifying.
Right. The ABS system would intelligently pulse the brakes on each wheel super fast.
Okay.
This meant you could still steer. You could maintain control and potentially steer around an obstacle, a massive leap in active safety.
Wow. And was the ride still smooth with all that power?
What's really striking is that despite all that power, the car was surprisingly floaty to drive.
Floaty.
Thanks to the introduction of air suspension. Instead of traditional coiled springs, it used these rubber bladders filled with pressurized air.
Air suspension.
And they'd adapt to the car's load, keeping the ride really smooth, but still responsive.
So, powerful, safe, smooth. It's not surprising the 1972 S-Class sold incredibly well. What were the numbers?
Outstanding sales. 473,000 units.
Nearly 500,000.
Yeah, the car was a huge improvement. The global car market was really taking off, and the S-Class branding just clicked. It became a true symbol people aspired to own.
But the path of car innovation wasn't always smooth sailing, was it? The 70s brought a big challenge.
A huge one. The massive oil crisis. Fuel prices basically quadrupled.
Ouch. That must have changed everything for car buyers.
Fundamentally reshaped consumer demands, yeah. And it created this massive, unexpected opportunity for car makers focused on efficiency.
So for the next S-Class, the 1979 model, efficiency became the main goal.
It really became the entire game.
How did they achieve that?
Well, the materials were much lighter. For instance, the bumpers were now plastic instead of heavy chrome.
Lighter and probably better for small bumps, too.
Exactly. They could absorb little parking impacts without damage. Big change. And this model also marked the first time Mercedes really started using CAD.
Computer-aided design.
Yep. Before that, it was massive clay models, smoke tunnels. Very physical.
Right.
CAD allowed for thousands of precise simulations, fine-tuning the shape for aerodynamics.
So what kind of improvements did that bring?
Significant ones. The front of the car got more rounded, the wipers were more recessed into the body, even the underside of the car was made much smoother.
And all those little tweaks added up.
They made a massive difference. In just 7 years, the drag coefficient dropped from 0.45 on that first S-Class down to 0.36 on this one.
Impressive refinement. And then there's another huge safety leap. The airbag.
The airbag. Singular, though. Just for the driver at first.
Still a huge deal. How did it work?
It truly felt like a miracle back then. Sensors detect a sudden, sharp deceleration and impact.
Okay.
And bang, a signal goes to this pyrotechnic igniter. A tiny controlled explosion inflates the bag in just 30 milliseconds.
Faster than blinking.
Way faster. Blinking takes about 100 milliseconds.
Wow.
And at the same time, your seatbelt now, with pretensioners, tightens up, pulling you back securely into the seat.
So you hit the airbag correctly.
Exactly. And the airbag itself has vents, so it deflates properly as your head contacts it, cushioning the blow.
And Mercedes testing for this set the standard.
Pretty much. Their rigorous testing for this whole system actually formed the basis for most global crash test requirements later on. They really pushed safety forward.
That's incredible leadership. What other kind of maybe quirkier tech did they pack into the cabin?
Inside, yeah, there were some fascinating bits. There was actually a switch to change your horn tone and volume.
Really? Why?
Depending on whether you were in the city or the country. A quieter toot for town, maybe?
That's amazing. What else?
There was this little device that looked like an alarm clock. It was the first system for preemptive car heating.
So you could set it to warm up before you got in.
Exactly. Tell your car, warm up in 20 minutes. Super handy in winter.
Definitely.
And there was a little wheel to adjust the speaker balance front to back, so you could choose where the music was loudest. Party in the back seat, maybe?
So all these innovations, efficiency, safety, those neat interior touches, they combine to make this a huge hit.
Absolutely a golden era for Mercedes. This model became their best-selling luxury saloon of all time. 818,000 units sold. Just
Yeah.
massive.
Wow. Okay, so the 1979 S-Class started using computers, but the next one, 1991, that's when computing really took over, right?
Oh, yeah. If the 79 model dipped its toes in, the 1991 S-Class dove headfirst into the computing revolution.
How so?
Well, before this, most car features were controlled by mechanical parts.
Yeah.
You know, levers, springs, cables, that sort of thing.
Right, physical connections.
Exactly. This is the car where microchips started replacing a lot of those. It was a profound shift in how cars were engineered.
Give us some examples. How did those microchips change the experience?
Okay, so there were microchips in the suspension. They could adjust things constantly for a smooth, floaty ride on the motorway, but then firm things up for stable cornering.
Clever.
The accelerator pedal wasn't pulling a physical cable anymore. It sent an electronic signal to an engine computer.
Smoother acceleration.
Much smoother, less jerky. And get this, microchips even knew when the boot wasn't fully latched, and they'd gently pull it shut for you. Soft close. Plus, a button inside released a little handle on the boot lid, so you could lift it without getting your hands dirty.
That is peak luxury detail.
Isn't it? And inside, chips controlled separate climate zones for the driver and passenger, and they could save your seat settings, moving the mirrors, steering wheel, and the seat all at once to your preferred position.
That's memory seats, but linked to everything else, too. More advanced than many cars, even today.
Exactly.
It sounds like it was just insanely over-engineered, but maybe in a good way.
That's exactly how the 1991 S-Class became known. Insanely over-engineered, but yeah, in the best possible way.
Meaning they spent a fortune on it.
Oh, yeah. Mercedes apparently spent so much money trying to make it the absolute best, most imposing thing on the road, that for the first few years, they were actually losing money on every single one they sold.
Wow. Dedication. What was it like to drive or ride in?
It was incredibly silent. Like, you could genuinely hold a conversation at a whisper volume inside, even though it had this powerful 402 horsepower engine option.
How did they make it so quiet?
Well, for extra features, it had double glazed acoustic windows, 2 panes of glass with a layer in between, unparalleled quietness.
And your favorite feature?
My favorite quirky feature. Because the car was just so big, when you put it in reverse, these little parking guide rods would automatically extend upwards from the rear corners of the boot.
Like little antennas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just to give you a visual cue of where the back of the car actually was, it felt straight out of a sophisticated spy movie or something.
Aha! Transformers.
Yeah. It truly represented luxury through just unprecedented levels of refinement, customization, and this seemingly magical convenience, all thanks to these new microchips.
Okay, it's hard to believe the next car is just 7 years later. 1998 Mercedes Benz S-Class. This one represented another big shift, didn't it?
A huge shift, yeah. Partly for efficiency. Again, the drag coefficient got even tinier, down to 0.27.
Wow.
But maybe even more because society was changing. In the 80s, early 90s, luxury was often about, showing off your wealth, big and bold.
Right.
But by the end of the 90s, a lot of high-income buyers were shifting towards quiet luxury. That sort of if you know status symbol. Understated.
And how did the car reflect that?
Well, Keyless Go really embodied this new sophistication.
Keyless entry and start.
Exactly. The key fob sends out a little radio signal. Sensors in the door handles pick it up. If the key's on you, you just touch the handle and it unlocks.
Slick.
Very understated, but very slick. The car itself was lower, a little smaller, more rounded.
I remember the look. Some people weren't fans initially.
That's right. A lot of people called it a bar of soap on wheels because it looked a bit, generic compared to the imposing 91 model.
Yeah.
But that smoother, less angular look eventually became Mercedes' default design language for years.
And inside, tech updates.
Inside, they introduced the new command screen cockpit management and data system, integrating controls.
Okay.
But the true game changer for this generation, the really big leap, was preemptive safety.
Preemptive, meaning before the crash?
Exactly. This was a profound shift, moving from reactive safety airbags, strong structure, to proactive, intelligent protection.
How did that work?
It used an array of sensors that were constantly judging your driving, looking for signs of trouble, like sudden, hard-braking, really rapid steering inputs, tires losing grip.
Signs you might be about to lose control or crash.
Precisely. And if it detected those signs, it would prepare the car for an impact before it actually happened.
Wow. And what would it actually do? What actions would it take?
Okay, so your seatbelts would instantly tighten up, pulling you firmly into the seat.
Gotcha.
Your seat, if it wasn't in an ideal position, would automatically move towards an optimal middle position for impact safety.
Smart.
And your sunroof and windows would shut incredibly fast, like in a fraction of a second.
Why shut the windows?
To limit the chance of objects entering the cabin during a crash or rollover, and also to help the side airbags deploy correctly against the glass.
Right. That tech sounds seriously ahead of its time for 1998.
It really was. Though it's fair to say this model did get some criticism at the time for maybe cutting back a bit on interior material quality compared to the 91 Beast, trying to manage costs, perhaps.
Okay, so when the next generation arrived in 2005, Mercedes probably wanted to address those perceptions, right? And really double down on assistance.
Absolutely. It feels like 2005 was truly the year of the assist. They seemed determined to fix any perception issues and just load the car with helpful tech.
So what were some of the standout intelligence systems this time? The ones that really changed the driving experience?
You're right. This generation, the cars really felt like they became intelligent enough to do cool things without you asking.
Like what?
Well, lane keeping assist. It used a camera to actually watch the lane markings on the road.
Okay.
And if the car started to drift out of the lane without you signaling, it would gently vibrate the steering wheel.
Like a nudge. Hey, pay attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Subtly suggesting, maybe the driver's getting a bit drowsy.
Clever. What else?
Night vision projector. This is cool. It emitted infrared light, invisible to the eye, but a camera picked it up, and it displayed an enhanced view on a screen, letting the driver see maybe 200 meters ahead, much further than standard headlamps could reach, especially in bad weather or darkness.
Wow, like military tech in a car.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And adaptive cruise control got much smarter. It used radar sensors on the front.
Just see the car ahead.
Yeah, to automatically maintain a set distance from the car in front. It could speed up, slow down.
And even brake.
Yes, it could even self-activate the brakes quite strongly if it detected a potential collision risk.
That sounds like a huge stress reliever in traffic.
Definitely. And what was really striking here, unlike maybe the 98 model, the tech felt much more polished, more thoroughly tested.
And the interior quality. Did they bring back the luxury feel?
Oh, yes. There was a serious return to high-quality interior materials. You could really feel the premium quality again. Everything felt thick, soft-touch plastic, real metal trim.
Like they'd listened to the feedback.
It really felt like it. It felt solid and luxurious again.
And what about tech inside for the passengers?
The split-view screen was mind-blowing for the time.
Split view, how did that work?
It allowed the driver and the front passenger to look at the same central screen, but see two completely different things simultaneously. Special screen technology. So the driver could be looking at the navigation map
Right.
while the passenger was watching a movie or looking at the radio stations on the same screen.
That is seriously cool. And the back seats, getting more luxurious.
Definitely. The rear amenities were becoming increasingly plush. Things like a drop-down vanity mirror from the roof, its own screen, even options like a mini fridge between the seats.
Verde.
It really started to feel very top 1%. This car marked a shift towards being an intelligent co-pilot, really enhancing safety and convenience through this whole suite of integrated intuitive assistance systems.
And that feeling, that return to form, must have translated to sales.
Immense success.
Yeah.
This 2005 model became the second best-selling S-Class ever. People loved it.
So where do you even go from there? How do you improve on a car that assists you in almost every way imaginable?
Well, with the next model, the 2013 S-Class, it feels like Mercedes kind of decided to have a bit more fun with it.
On how?
The focus shifted subtly. It wasn't just about assistance and safety, but actively about making the driver and passengers happier, calmer, less stressed.
Interesting. Moving beyond function towards well-being.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is this was the first car in the world to completely ditch traditional light bulbs. Everything was LED.
Everything. Interior, exterior.
All of it. LEDs last longer, use less power, give designers more control over the light shape and color.
And the light quality is different too, right? Cleaner?
Cleaner, yeah, and potentially less dazzling for other drivers. Plus, they introduced hot stone massage seats.
Hot stone massage in a car seat.
Yep, not just vibration, but actual moving elements with heat, mimicking a hot stone massage.
Okay, that's definitely focused on well-being.
And here's the real kicker. Mercedes actually conducted an entire scientific study just focused on how to lower the heart rate of the occupants while they were in the car.
Seriously, they studied heart rates.
Yes, this was a profound shift in luxury car design. They weren't just building a car anymore. They were consciously engineering a kind of mobile wellness sanctuary.
Wow. So what came out of that study? What features helped lower heart rates?
Well, it led directly to innovations like multi-zone ambient lighting. They found that using cooler color hues, like blues and greens, actually measurably reduced occupants' heart rates compared to warmer colors.
Amazing. What else?
They also found, unsurprisingly, that people were calmer, with less road noise intruding. So this car incorporated special laminated acoustic glass.
Like the double glazing before, but maybe better.
Yeah, enhanced. And they used targeted sound dampening foam in specific areas of the car's structure to really minimize noise intrusion. It made it noticeably quieter than even the previous model.
Okay, quietness helps.
And air quality, too. Pure air and pleasant scents were part of the equation. So they introduced the air balance system.
What did that do?
It filtered the incoming air to remove pollutants and allergens, and it could also diffuse subtle, pleasant fragrances into the cabin from little vials in the glove box.
So it's not just passively comfortable anymore, it's actively trying to improve your physiological state. That's a huge leap.
It really is.
How did the driving assistance evolve in this model? Did it get even smarter?
Oh, yeah. The car's awareness of its surroundings and its ability to act on it took another step up. It could now keep the car actively in the center of the lane, not just warn you if you drifted.
So proper lane centering.
Yes, and it could actually steer for the driver for periods of time following curves in the road. Still hands-on, but much more capable steering assistance.
And it used more data.
It combined all its real-time sensors cameras, radar with GPS location, and detailed map data.
Why map data?
So the car could anticipate the road ahead. It knew if a sharp corner or a roundabout was coming up before it could physically see it.
And what would it do with that knowledge?
It could proactively adjust its speed, tweak the suspension settings, and prepare for cornering before it even reached the feature. Super smooth, super predictive.
Incredible. Any other subtle touches?
One really neat one. The car would give subtle sideways nudges through the seat bolsters during cornering.
Nudges? Why?
Just gentle pressure to kind of hold you upright and keep you feeling centered and secure in your seat during a turn. Again, all about comfort and reducing stress.
Which brings us neatly to the 2020 S-Class, the current generation really taking driver automation to a whole new level.
This is where we see proper Level 3 autonomous driving arrive.
Level 3. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means the car handles both the steering and the speed control under certain conditions. And crucially, you, the driver, don't even need to be paying attention to the road unless the car specifically prompts you to take back control.
So you can legally take your hands off the wheel and your eyes off the road?
Yes. It's legally permissible in approved areas and conditions for you to be on your phone, checking emails, even watching a movie on the central screen while the car drives itself at speeds up to, currently, around 95 kilometers per hour.
Wow. That feels like the ultimate expression of luxury, right? Delegating the entire act of driving?
It really is. It transforms the car into a genuine, private, mobile living room or office space.
How is that even possible technologically? How can the car take on that level of responsibility safely?
Essentially, by building in what Mercedes calls absolute tons of redundancies.
Backups for the backups.
Exactly. Backups for backups for backups. For example, I think there are 4 different independent systems just constantly telling the car where it is on the road. GPS, cameras reading signs and lanes, high-def maps, LiDAR.
So if one fails, others take over?
Precisely. And the key legal differentiator for Level 3 is that the manufacturer, Mercedes in this case, takes responsibility for the driving task when the system is active. That's the big step.
Okay, but it's not everywhere, right? Only specific places.
Correct. Currently, it's only legally certified for use in specifically designated areas, like stretches of the German Autobahn and some highways in Nevada and California. It's geographically limited for now.
And there are visual cues that it's driving itself.
Yes. There are new turquoise-colored lights on the exterior of the car. These are becoming the standardized signal to indicate that the car is in autonomous driving mode. Lets other drivers and law enforcement know the car is in control.
Makes sense. And from a passenger perspective, when the car is your chauffeur, what's the experience like inside?
Well, the interior features become even more excessive, but in a remarkably good way.
Like the heads-up display.
Yeah, the heads-up display is huge and projects augmented reality navigation arrows right onto the road ahead. Keeps your eyes looking forward.
Cool. What about entertainment?
The in-car entertainment gets pretty wild. You can have seat vibrations that sync with movies you're watching.
Like in a 4D cinema?
Kind of. Heated and cooled drink holders, obviously. Rear seats with 4-point individual control for maximum comfort. And you can even get an ejectable Samsung tablet in the rear armrest that mirrors the main screen and controls everything.
That sounds intense.
It's truly an insane full-circle moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mercedes luxury cars kind of started with the whole idea of having a chauffeur drive you.
Right.
And now, the car is the chauffeur. It does feel a bit like that scene out of the movie WALL-E, you know, where everyone's just sitting in their comfy chairs being transported and never needing to move anymore.
A slightly unnerving comparison, but I see the point. But the journey doesn't stop there, does it? We've already seen spy shots of the next S-Class being tested for maybe 2026.
That's right. Camouflage test mules are out there.
Yeah.
They use this special wrap called dysmorph skin.
Dysmorph.
Yeah, it's designed with confusing patterns to visually break up the car's true shape and lines, preventing competitors or the press from figuring out the final design during public road testing.
Clever. But beyond the next S-Class, Mercedes has shown concepts pointing even further ahead.
Oh, yes. There's a Vision EQXX. Now, that's technically a concept car focused on extreme efficiency.
Okay.
But Mercedes has said a remarkably similar production car, focused on the absolute pinnacle of luxury, is planned for around 2027, though it probably won't be badged as an S-Class.
So this concept represents the highest-end, most luxurious thing Mercedes has ever conceived.
Pretty much. Its sole objective seems to be creating the most, quote, ridiculous elite passenger experience imaginable. And, get this, aiming to reduce the occupant's heart rate even further than the 2013 car managed.
Even lower heart rates. So this is the absolute future of luxury transport, a personalized, adaptive, multi-sensory environment.
That's exactly the idea.
This car sounds truly futuristic. Tell us about some of the features.
Okay, the seats are filled with these tubular cushions that can move dynamically, constantly adjusting to support you, or even provide subtle massage effects. And there's an integrated, beautiful in-cabin chessboard made of wood, actually a nod to that same wood trim that's been a consistent luxury element throughout Mercedes history.
Being able to play physical chess while the car drives you, that is a genuine flex, isn't it?
It really is. But the real meat and potatoes of this concept is the immersive entertainment system.
Okay, what have they got?
There's a massive 65-inch 4K bendable TV screen that literally curves to follow the shape of the car's interior dashboard.
65 inches in a car.
And it gets crazier. There are also 7 projectors hidden in the cabin.
Projectors, what for?
They sync animations and ambient effects with whatever's playing on the main screen, projecting them onto the doors and other surfaces.
Yeah.
It creates this immersive experience that feels bigger than the screen itself.
So it's like the whole cabin becomes part of the display, like a sophisticated 3D game engine UI filling the space.
That's a great way to put it. Echoing animations on the walls. And every single window in the cabin, including the roof, can electronically tint and untint itself. Not just on or off, but like 6 different levels of tint.
Total control over light and privacy.
Exactly. It's aiming for this 4D cinema kind of experience. You've got the visuals, plus seat vibrations from special oscillators built into the seats.
Like the movie theater seats.
Yeah. A high-end PC gaming rig is apparently integrated for proper gaming on the go. An immersive 360-degree sound from something like 42 speakers dotted around the cabin.
42 speakers.
Insane, right? And of course, there's a work mode too, with a high-quality webcam baked in for video calls.
It's hard to even picture what a truly striking visual arc we've traced the journey from what was basically a barely motorized tricycle all the way to a vehicle that feels like it belongs to a supervillain or maybe just landed from the furthest reaches of science fiction. The pace of innovation is just incredible.
It really is something else.
What an incredible journey of innovation we've just followed. Mercedes has just constantly pushed the boundaries, haven't they? Redefining what luxury even means, from basic comfort and protection, all the way to these fully immersive, intelligent environments that are actively trying to care for their occupants' well-being. It's been a fascinating evolution to trace.
It really has. And what's perhaps most fascinating here is how the car, which started as just a tool for simple movement, right, a way to get from A to B, has steadily become this extension of our living spaces, our working spaces, and is now actively aiming to manage our very physiological state, our heart rate, our stress levels.
That's a profound change.
It really is. And it raises an important question, I think, for you, our listener. As cars become increasingly autonomous, letting us disconnect from the driving task and simultaneously become these incredibly immersive, almost womb-like environments. What do you think is the ultimate purpose of personal transportation in the future? And maybe more personally, how much of your journey, your experience, are you actually willing to delegate to the machine?
A very provocative thought to end on. Something for all of us to think about.